There are 5 exercises I'm going to tell you to stop doing if you're over the age of 50. And there's a good chance most of you are doing at least some, if not all of these. So check it out in this video. Hey everybody, I'm Jay, a workout enthusiast, natural men's physique competitor, and I'm in my 50s. If you're doing these 5 exercises I'm about to give you, you probably should consider stopping these exercises and replacing them with something that, let's say, is a little less of a risk to causing you injuries. The first exercise that you should stop doing is deadlifts. The list of injuries that can come from doing deadlifts as we age is a very long list. See, first of all, I want you to know that I had a personal experience with deadlifts. And the reason I stopped doing deadlifts was the last time I did it, I ended up with a bulging disc in my back. Let me tell you, you always remember that pain anytime you go back to grab that bar. I knew that at that moment I had to change some things, and I did. Once you've experienced this type of injury, it's easy to stop doing deadlifts. You could argue I was doing it wrong. You could say my posture wasn't right. You could say I was going too heavy. There's all types of things you could say, but the truth is I was doing everything right, and I still messed myself up. Injuries coming from deadlifts are a number of things, but strained muscles in the lower and mid back, disc injuries such as ruptured disc, bulging disc, swelling in and around the disc, other problems in your spine can happen. But not only can you get back injuries, also you can get bicep strains or worse. You can get bicep tears or you can get tendon tears. So there's also, with that, knee injuries and possible wrist and hand injuries. So as you can see, doing deadlifts as we age can come with many risk factors. And to me, the risk is not worth the reward. Instead of doing deadlifts, try doing these exercises instead. First, you can do seated dumbbell lumbar raises. If you haven't done these, you should really give it a try. This is a great way to strengthen your lumbar region as well as your mid-back region. Mixed with the dumbbell raises, you could also implement seat to stand raises. This is where you just simply take a couple of dumbbells or a couple of plates, get in a seated position with the weights in hand and go from a seated position to a standing position, then back down to the seated position. Also with these exercises, you can implement a farmer's carry exercise into the mix, which works really good. And if you mix all 3 of these, you will get many benefits without the stress of doing the deadlifts. The next exercise that you should stop doing is behind the head lat pulls. There are several injuries that can arise from doing lat pull downs from behind the head. Neck injuries such as neck strains can happen, especially with us older guys, but also shoulder injuries can occur when we aren't properly aligned and we are pulling down weight in an awkward position such as behind the head. Upper back injuries can happen, and you can aggravate and inflame the scapular region. If these injuries happen to you, those like neck injuries, you can easily miss weeks in the gym and you can get set back in your fitness goals for a really long time. Try doing this instead. Instead of pulling the weight down behind the head, pull it down to your chest with good posture and good alignment. To get the most out of this workout, try doing the pull downs with your hands in a reverse grip. Of course, there are several lat exercises you can do without the need for risking injury on the behind the head pull downs. If you're able to do it, try doing pull-ups, as this is a great exercise for improving back and lat muscles. The third exercise you should stop doing is dumbbell flies. I love doing dumbbell flies. The fact is, I no longer do dumbbell flies. At least not using dumbbells. In the past, I worked out with 2 different guys who both ended up with shoulder injuries at the ages of 38 and 40 doing dumbbell flies. I myself had complications from doing dumbbell flies, so I made a simple change. I still do flies, but now I use cables with very light weight. Well, you may ask, what's the difference? Well, the difference for me is I can better control the weight on the positive and the negative of the workout, and I'm able to prevent the weight from going too far down on the negative. Now, if you don't have control of the weight will control you, and that typically spells trouble, and typically that means injuries. For me, it's simple. I love lifting weights and I despise missing time in the gym. A dumbbell fly can cause you to miss a lot of gym time. Cable flies with light weight, not so much. If you do not have cables and you still want to do flies, try using a light dumbbell and lie flat on the floor to do your flies. The floor will stop the weight from pulling you into a negative spot where injuries are most likely to occur. Now, if you have an exercise that you try to avoid, put it in the comments section below. I want to hear about it. The number 4 exercise you should avoid is barbell bench press. Now I've got your attention. You may be asking, why is a good old bench press dangerous for us older guys? Well, the reason I don't bench press with free weights is I work out alone. That's it. If you don't have a spotter, the bench press is a place where you can find yourself in a lot of trouble with injuries, and some of these injuries can be bad. There are a high percentage of ER visits due to bench press injuries, mostly head and face injuries. If you have a spotter and you feel you can manage the weight safely, by all means, go for it. But don't go for broke or try to see what your 1 rep max is, because you'll end up doing what many others do. You'll push extremely hard to move the weight, and I guarantee you will raise your lumbar to get more leverage on the weight, and then the next day you will not be able to get out of bed or walk around. So try using the Smith machine instead. If you work out alone, a Smith machine can help you to control the weight better, and you'll have a safety net to bail you out should you get in trouble while lifting. Another great press exercise is to use good old-fashioned dumbbells. You get better motion in the lift, and if you get maxed out during a set, you can get out from under the weights fairly easily. The 5th exercise that you should avoid is front delt raises. Front delt raises just aren't necessary. The fact is, most of us have way better defined front delts than we do rear delts or sides. This is because we work our front delts with every push exercise we do. When you press, you work the front delts. When you do push-ups, you are hitting the front delts. Dumbbell presses, the same thing. Instead of wasting time on doing front delt work, start focusing more time and effort on your side and rear delts. Use a very light weight and do side lat raises or some type of rear delt exercises. Find a couple of really good exercises for sides and rear, and your entire shoulder will look way more defined and way more symmetrical. You also want to avoid injury from overuse, and therefore trying to lift a bunch of weight on the front delts will cause you to have pain in all of your press movements. With front shoulder injuries, you can set yourself way back with all press exercises. These are 5 exercises I recommend you avoid so that you can have a better outcome over the long haul, and I hope this video will help you in doing that. Now, I look forward to seeing you on the next video, and I'm going to be looking for you right there. And until then, go get fit.